Hi, everybody. Just wanted to do another quick video for you guys here today. Let's talk about saving versus spending. Is there a difference, right? Which one of these categories do you fall into? And how can we position ourselves to best utilize the opportunities that are there and get ourselves further ahead? So let's take a look. Right now, when we think about saving versus spending, there's really kind of two camps that we could be in. If we were to draw a line and we said, hey, what are you? Are you a saver or a spender? Well, let's take the saver first. The saver is going to do the good habit, get in there, save some money, put it into a savings account. And now we're going to say an expense comes along. Maybe there's a car, an opportunity, or just some expense of some sort. Well, we're going to go ahead and liquidate that account. So now we're back down to zero. Well, let's get back to that good behavior. If we did it the first time, let's get right back to that saving. And then we see another event happens and we're right back down to zero. So we can see how saving put us in a position to be able to manage that expense. But what if we're not in that position? Maybe we don't have the habit pattern, or maybe it's an unexpected expense and it just kind of caught us off guard. Well, then we can actually borrow first. So now we're going to go into debt, and now we're going to get into a good habit pattern of paying that expense back off, and we're right back to zero. And let's go ahead. We're going to have that same event happen again, and we're going to get right back to the good habit and pay it back. So like I've mentioned, if we're fighting back to zero, whether we saved or we spent to get there, we're back in the same spot. What if there was an alternative? What if you had another way to actually be able to do both of these things, right? I'm not telling you to live like a hermit and give up your quality of life, but what if we could save, borrow against that savings? We're going to do that same habit pattern. We're going to repay it. But because we're actually using someone else's money, we're going to pay a little bit of interest. Well, now all of a sudden, if you never had to take your dollars out, what if they could continue to compound for you? And now we're in that second scenario where now it's time to borrow again. And let's pay that back. We're going to pay it back with a little bit of interest. But there was some compounding that continued to happen because we didn't actually take our money out. We're very deliberate. We said we borrowed someone else's money. We were able to store our cash somewhere, save it, borrow someone else's cash using ours as the leverage, get out there, satisfy life's expenses, pay that back with a little bit of interest. But now look at where you're going to finish up as compared to our peers. Now look at where we are, vastly ahead of the curve. Well, why is that? If we go back and we take a look at the saver, what's happening for the saver? Well, you're saving it inside of probably a savings account, right? Well, there's a little bit of interest that you get, which is your benefit. But as soon as you stop that savings account, as soon as you liquidate it, you cannot compound what isn't there. And so when you get back to that habit pattern, it starts compounding again. You get a little bit of interest benefit, but once you liquidate it again, it can't compound. So we gave up the opportunity to get interest when we saved. Conversely, if we look at the other side, well, if we were to borrow money, we're actually spending some money because we have to pay for that interest. There's always going to be a cost. Whether you think cash is free or not, there's a cost. If we borrow money, we're going to pay some interest. If we use our cash, we are giving up the interest. Well, what if we can position ourselves to get the interest growth along the way? Position yourself up here so you get the benefit of the interest. Yep, you are going to pay a little bit in expense, but if you end up further ahead, if you end up further down the road with actually more cash, is that little bit of cost worth it? If you would like to find out more how this could be a fit for you, how you can implement this within your life, then really the next step for you is to go ahead and take a gander here. Go ahead and scan this QR code, set up a 15-minute call. Let's get to know you. You can get to know us. Let's find out, is this a plan? Is this a strategy? Is this something you can put into your world today to make your life better, as well as that of your family and the successive generations to come? Hope this has been helpful. Like, rate, review us below. Go ahead, leave me a comment, and would love to hear from you guys soon.